Hello everyone, this is our program Apps of the Week, and as usual we have 3 program items: Grand Stories, Review and This Week in the Press. And now this is for you to attend Grand Stories. Stay tuned. Public demonstrations have taken place in different parts of Amhara region against the kidnapping of Amhara girls. The demonstrators slammed the government for failing to protect national security. And Anthony has a story.
It is learned that peaceful demonstrations have been held in various towns and cities of Amhara region in these days, just in opposition to kidnapping of students in Dambidolo University, which is one among higher education institutions found in Oromia regional state. Hereby, a peaceful demonstration condemning such an act is held in Gondar. Slogans bearing different messages have been displayed by demonstrators. Demonstrators have also asked for prompt measure of the government. Such a cruel act on Amhara students in particular claims the reappearance of ethnic-centered violence, which has been considered over following the national reform. We ask the government to let know us the current situation of kidnapped students immediately. Unless we found a government that stands for the well-being of Amhara people, Amharas should be organized either in group or at a local level and fight against internal and external enemies.
የውጭና የውስጥን ጠላቶችን ሊታገል ሊፋለም ይገባል። የፌደራል መንግስትም ሆነ የኦሮሚያ ክልላዊ መንግስት
It is an open secret that both the federal government and Oromia regional states have remained silent while there is such a tyrannic act. It doesn't mean that we are forgetful of our being Amhara for the sake of Ethiopianism. Rather, it's to sustain the whole aspect of the nation. Now onwards, no patience to tolerate such a cruelty. We are here in opposition to the persecution of people of Amhara. Both the federal and regional governments are not listening us and responding to our questions. Since there is exacerbation of encroachment of Amhara people, it is to have the last voice peacefully before any kind of means to ensure freedom. Many students from Amhara are treated so inhuman in areas where they attend higher education. Kidnapped ones should be released. Government should also be free from strategical ambivalence that ensure hate on Amhara people. In the absence of such preconditions, prosperity as a national party is certain to be an idea in no reality.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed reveals that the abduction of university girls is the result of ill personality, which makes the effort of the government tough to rescue the victims. The Premier also says that there is no evidence that depicts any harm on the abducted girls. Let's get more from Yayu Melese.
Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed has given explanations for questions from members of the parliament on the special meeting of the House. A question was raised about the abducted students of Dambidolo University.
Even though the government informed the people about the release of 21 students and its effort for release of 6 students who was abducted when they were flee from the conflict in Dambidolo, the students that the government has already said they are released are not still reunited with their family. How much this information is accurate and timely? Who kidnapped them? I want to have explanation on the current situation of the abducted students.
The Prime Minister has said the Dambidolo University case as an instance of conflicts that has been happened in universities.
እነዚህ ግለሰቦች መጀመሪያ ተይዘዋል ከዚያ ተፈተዋል ከተባለ በኋላ
After these individuals are said first they were abducted and they are released. When new information is raised and when we try to filter the information, we found out individuals in the list of students while they are not students, and there are also students they are not from Dambidolo University, and the Defense Army has never got anything in its patrol. There were a pressure in the government side to declare there is no any abducted individual. However, there are parents. We do not want to inform the people while we are not sure about these students that they may be migrated to Sudan, abducted or hide themselves, and to their address will be well identified.
እናት ስላለች አልታገተም የሚል መልስ በፍጥነት መዘገቡ ተገቢ ነው ብለን አላመንም።
Prime Minister Abiy has also explained about the committee they have formed in order to find out the truth of the complex issue.
መንግስት ባለው አቅምና ኃይል ልክ ባልተሟላ መረጃ ጠንከር ያለ መግለጫ በሚሰጥበት ጊዜ ያልተደራጁ ግለሰቦች
If kidnappers are not organized individuals, they may kill the abducted individuals or they may lead them to risky conditions. When the government gives strong press release based on limited information we have had. As our main interest is about finding individuals alive, a priority was given to find them alive over providing public information. At the discussion we have had with parents, elders and others, as of now, there is not a single report that shows they may be attacked or killed. As the problem is not from foreign bases like Al-Shabaab and it has domestic nature, it becomes difficult to hand over as simply as foreign enemies.
እንደ ውጭ ጠላት በቀላሉ ማስወገድ አልተቻለም።
At the time is a high struggle between change agents and its opponents. The Prime Minister has expressed the government's focus to get out of the current situation in victory. He has also condemned the tendency of using students as political gain.
ደምቢዶሎ የሄደ ተማሪ በሙሉ ሀገሬ ቤተሰቦች
A student who goes to Dambidolo believes as he goes to his country and family. He doesn't go to Djibouti, Kenya or Sudan. He goes to the place where he can ask help from the community. Using this individual for political gain is very shameful and forbidden. A politics in this way doesn't have space in Ethiopia after 2018. This should be understood by people who are engaged on this.
በዚህ ጉዳይ ውስጥ የሚሳተፉ ኃይሎች በሙሉ መገንዘብ ይኖርባቸዋል።
Destiny Ethiopia has launched a platform aimed at resolving political differences and disputes on historical narrations. It is disclosed that such differences could be resolved by discussion. Yayimelis has the account.
50 influential people have been selected and gathered by Destiny Ethiopia in order to forecast what will happen in the country after 20 years. After these people have analyzed situations, they have found out for possible destinations Ethiopia will return. The destinations are named Sunrise, House of Competence, Dictator and Broken Power. The analysis is made from the point of view of democracy, economy, security, peace, food security, natural conservation, international happenings and crackings. Participants of the platform have their own significant influence on the destiny of the country, and they have said the platform is important in creating discussions among the people who have prominence in Ethiopia. After a number of discussions, now I understood that we can have discussions with people who have great difference in politics and related things. One of the facilitators of the platform, Nuguse Aklilu, has said that the platform brought people to listen others. Many of our political cultures are depend on believing one is correct way and some others is incorrect. This prohibits us to be eclectic in order to bring good things from different areas. Because of this, an idea becomes loved by few people and hated by many people. So as to overcome this, we should believe on table round discussions.
Amhara Agriculture Bureau announced that remarkable changes has been registered. The nature conservation activities carried out since the past few years. It is also disclosed that the awareness of farmers is also improving. And Netanyahu has a story.
Natural resource conservation work has been implemented throughout the country for over 9 years. It is learned that this year's conservation activity is already launched in early January in Amhara region. With regard to the overall accomplishment of the task within Amhara region and its ongoing activities, Amhara TV has had a stay with Director of Natural Resource Conservation and Management in Amhara National Regional State Agriculture Bureau, Getachew Ngdayo. According to Getachew, there is noticeable achievement in rehabilitating degraded land within the past 9 years in accordance with the plan already set.
For the last 9 consecutive years, this natural resource rehabilitation conservation was a major and a frontline agenda. We have remarkable achievements, including rehabilitation of degraded lands. In the region, around 10 million hectares needs rehabilitation or conservation, physical conservation. Until this day, we have covered around 6 million hectare, and even we, with external evaluators, we try to evaluate the progress. And based on this, degradation, especially silt load, decreased from 77 ton per hectare before rehabilitation. In 1 hectare, 77 ton silt will be removed, but on rehabilitated watershed, we try to minimize to 33 even. This 33 is not a threshold level, but the achievement, which is 56%, is a good achievement.
With regard to active involvement of the whole segment of the society in the natural resource conservation work, Getachew also stated about limitations observed on awareness creation and possible remedies to tackle it sustainably.
One of the major achievements in the last 7, 8, 9 years is everybody talks about natural resource conservation. Especially the awareness of the farmers are dramatically improved. To raise the awareness of the people, establishing watershed institution as a leading institution in watershed is a priority agenda, because experts, Kabale leaders, other administrators may leave that area after a certain period of time. But the farmers, their land are there, their children are there. So ownership, pure ownership, should be given for the farmers.
The 33rd Regular Summit of African Union is going to be hosted in Addis Ababa for 2 days. Several heads of states and government in Africa have confirmed to take part in the summit. Yayu Melissa has the detail of this story.
The Foreign Affairs Ministry has noted about the 33rd regular meeting of African Union in the upcoming Sunday and Monday. According to Assistant Protocol in the Ministry, General Gisela Schall, preparation has been carried out by a committee that has 33 members for 3 months.
እቅዶቻቸውን ከስራው አኳያ የሚጠበቅባቸውን ለማከናወን እንዲረዳ እቅድ አዘጋጅተው
In order to carry out this task, the committee have put their plan and it has been evaluating. So, in that way, works have been done continuously since today. There have been 5 meetings at national level.
ስብሰባ ተደርጓል በብሔራዊ ኮሚቴ ደረጃ.
The General Director has expressed the completion of the road constructed from Olusefer to the entrance of the summit gate as an advantage to create comfort for participants. He has also talked about international institute leaders, first ladies, ambassadors and state leaders who will come to Addis Ababa to participate on the summit.
45 ሀገራት እንደሚገኙ ማረጋገጫ ሰጥተዋል እስከ ትናንትና ማታ ድረስ.
45 countries have confirmed to participate on the summit as of yesterday night. There are first ladies who will come to here with state leaders. As of yesterday night, 14 of them has confirmed us about their coming. On top of this, there are countries they are not member of AU but invited to be part of it. Among these, 3 at Prime Minister level, 3 at Foreign Minister level and 7 at Ambassador level has given us confirmation about their participation.
ስቴት ደረጃ 3 በአምባሳደር ደረጃ የሚመራ 7 ምዝገባ ያካሄዱበት ወይም ማረጋገጫ የሰጡበት ሁኔታ አለ.
Expressing the preparation of 5-star hotels and the tentative blockage of some streets for regular users in order to create confidence for the summit participants, the ministry requested dwellers of Addis Ababa to host the participants with Ethiopian humbleness and hospitality.
አጠቃላይ ማህበረሰባችን ወይም የአዲስ አበባ ነዋሪ
I would like to transfer my call for dwellers of Addis Ababa on behalf of the ministry and the committee, requesting them to host participants in good hospitality culture we have and in giving priority for our guests.
ሚኒስቴር ስምም ሆነ በአስተባባሪው ኮሚቴ ስም ጥሪ ማስተላለፍ እወዳለሁ.
The students of Ethio-Japan School disclosed that the deployment of offline digital library in their school is their challenge to access educational resources. This offline wireless service works in 800-meter radius. Brahan Workman reports.
It is pointed out that offline digital library, which is being implemented in secondary schools, is very important to students to get textbooks and reference materials via this technology. Ethio-Japan Secondary School, which is found in the city of Bahadar, has launched a digital library so as to make students benefit from technology. Students who use the technology have expressed the benefit in this regard. There are many things inside the digital library. It is a great opportunity for us to get this technology in our school. It is really essential to get textbooks and reference materials via this technology. Apart from this, the technology has solved the shortage of reference materials in our school.
Primarily, the technology is making our lesson memorable. It also helps us to be competitive with other students across the country. Frankly speaking, the technology enabled us to get knowledge easily using the digital library.
Director of Ethio Japan Secondary School, Mr. Yasu Abarra, said that the school is creating a good platform so as to use the technology properly in the school. It is mandatory to our students in many ways. We have already given orientation on how to use the technology. Especially we have informed them to use in the afternoon. Textbooks starting from grade 5 to 12 are already loaded. Therefore, the school is working strongly to implement this technology properly in the school. Public Director of Amhara Development Association, Mr. Alemayo Moga, stated that 110 secondary schools have implemented wireless digital technology across the region. He added the technology has enabled students to read and refer wherever using internet technology. The technology may not lead them to go to library. It is possible to get the service wherever, like in their lounge and others. It has a significant role to reduce shortage of reference materials throughout the region. 110 schools have gotten the chance to serve their students with this digital technology.
ሁሉም አካባቢዎች ኦፍላይን ዲጂታል ላይብራሪው ተተክሏል ኢንስቶል ተደርጓል በየአጠቃላይ ሁለተኛ ደረጃ ትምህርት ቤቶች
Bahar Dar Kanama Football Club Fans Association donated different items to Tasfa Community Development Charity Association. It is also said that the community should carry on supporting charity associations. Brahan Urkana reports.
Many charity organizations and philanthropists are helping children, elders and the needy people across the country. It is stated that Tasfa Community Development Charity Association is one of a charity organization found in Bahar Dar City. The association is helping more than 2,335 children and elders in and out of Bahar Dar City. Chief Manager of the association, Mr. Seleshi Getachew, stated that the participation of communities in charity organizations have an indispensable role to fulfill essential materials to the needy people. The community is a source of income to our charity organization. Therefore, in the future, we are working to strengthen the relationship with the communities found in Bahar Dar. Currently, the communities are helping the needy people in many ways. Frankly speaking, there is no any kind of external donation to the association still. Elders and members of Tasfa Community Development Charity Association have expressed their feeling on the donation in this way. There is a saying by our fathers told, from nothing to something important. Therefore, in the name of God, I would like to thank those philanthropists and communities who played a great role to establish such charity organization working for elders. We are very happy by the donation given via the charity association. It is pointed out that Bahar Dar Football Club is involving in different community service activities in the city. Fund members of the association has donated materials to the charity association recently. Since the establishment of Bahar Dar Football Club, they were involving and donating to many charity organizations in the city of Bahar Dar. We are very glad for taking part in such good thing. As we know, sport is the issue of our community. In the future, we have planned to discuss with the community on how to collect money and donate to the elders. Therefore, we are ready to work jointly with the concerned bodies on the issue.
Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church Development and Christianity Charity Commission is working to benefit rural women by implementing life improvement programs. Charity Commission has enabled women of Harbu districts of North Wollo zone by organizing them in clusters so as to benefit them economically. Antoinette Mio has followed the story.
It is learned that Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church Development and Charity Commission had been doing humanitarian aid and rehabilitation tasks in East Amhara in tough times. This Development and Aid Commission, in collaboration with local charity organization Women Empowerment Action, has been conducting activities that could ensure the benefits of females in Habru Woreda of North Wollo zone in the past 2 years. An expatriate from Arab country, Qidist Tasfaw, and the other disabled Dina Tayaleo are among the beneficiaries.
Even if I am expatriate, I had nothing to run my own business. My exile was so worse, but now I am able to help my family. Here I am with my family to share both the happiness and sadness. Since I joined this program, I'm feeling so healthy. Once I started poultry production, I can save 10 to 100 birr a day.
Mrs. Lubaba, the other beneficiary on her part, said their being organized enabled them to upgrade saving culture and to put their social interaction.
We started saving little amount like 3 and 5 birr. Then it grew to 50 birr and above per day. One can borrow money at the time she needs. Now we are living with full of love.
In a weekly and monthly discussion, members of this cluster used to conduct harmful practice can be managed.
Marriage of unequal reproduction and genital mutilation are already halted. We discussed each week.
Head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church Development and Charity Commission Coordination Office in South Wollo Zone, Kasa Tesfa, said the commission is working towards ensuring the benefits of female in various fields. We have been working towards raising culture of saving among members of the cluster. While they gather to saving, they discuss on issues related to harmful practice and human trafficking, including stabilization of their social interaction. Administrator of Habru Woreda, Masfin Kebede, on his part said the government will discharge its own share so as to succeed with the program of the commission. The overall empowerment of women is being done. In this regard, this project is vitally important. We will strengthen the accomplishment of the project.
Culture and Tourism Bureau of South Gondar Zone announces that it is working strongly to register and impart culture and religious heritage of the locality. Burhan Workena has the detail.
Horse riding is a cultural and religious festival which is being celebrated colorfully every year across the country. It is stated that Culture and Tourism Office of Farta Woreda is working strongly to preserve and impart the festival to the coming generation, keeping its originality as it is. Participants of the Kabbalah men disclosed that the festival is a long-standing cultural and religious event that has been celebrated colorfully many years ago in the country. It is a long-standing cultural event. It is celebrated every year like this. There are two kinds of sporting, and it has two groups in it. Therefore, there is a competition between the two cavalry men. During the competition, cavalry men use different kinds of materials important for the competition. I expect it will continue like this in the future. The festival of cavalrymen is fascinating to the people of Debre Tabor and its surrounding. It is celebrated every year in this way in our town. Therefore, we are always eager to attend the festival. Finally, the winner cavalrymen are identified from the group. Cavalrymen are accompanied by different kinds of songs to make their competition fruitful. During the event, There is no any kind of revenge between the two groups of cavalry men. This is because the social bondage of the people is strong enough. I'm very glad if the festival is promoted to the world.
ባህላችን እንዲተዋወቅ በጣም እንፈልጋለን።
Head of Culture and Tourism Office of Arta Orada, Idenek Arrage, said that Horse Scouting Festival is celebrated carefully in Debre Tower town. She added the Worada is working to sustain the festival to the upcoming generation.
The association has a great importance to cavalrymen in general. When they got accident, the association covered the expense to the horse and cavalrymen in the form of support. There is also eating and drinking ceremony that makes the social interaction of the people strong. In addition to this, the association is important to mobilize the people in the works of natural resource conservation.
ተፈጥሮ ሀብት ለምሳሌ ስራ ሲኖር ወይም እርከን ስራ ላይ ፈረሰኛ ያለውን ፈረስ አውጥቶ በመጀመሪያው ቀን በደንብ በከበረ ሁኔታ በሰርሞኒ እንዲከፈት ያደርጋሉ።
Head of Culture and Tourism Department of South Gondar Zone, Sanait Asrado on her pass said that the zone is working strongly to make the festival one of a tourist destination not only in the region but also in the country.
ለዚህ ለደመቀ በዓል እንዲሆን አድርገናል።
We have made the festival colorful. It is an interesting festival. In the future, we will work to prepare the festival better than this year's festival. In addition to this, we are working to benefit the community in many ways by making one of the tourist destinations in the region.
የቱሪስት መዳረሻ እንዲሆን ነው እየሰራን ያለነው።
Every year on this month, groups of people flee to the historical site of Adwa to commemorate the bravery of Ethiopians and to portray the symbolization of the victory of Adwa. The groups have warmly welcomed by the public when they reached in Dessie town. Aisha Mohammed has a story.
Adwa travelers have reached in Dessie town administration after traveling for 17 days on foot. This travelers group have started their journey from Addis Ababa. Residents of Dessie town have welcomed these travelers in the historical Ait Tayef Hall while they arrived in the town. The group has 63 members and it includes 9 females and religious leaders. They are raising issues on unity and love. They pointed out that Ethiopians have to get a lesson from the victory of Adwa.
These are all our grand stories for Apps of the Week today. The next segment of our program item is The View. Lake Tana is the largest lake in the country. In the earlier times, the fish potential of the lake was very high, but recently the potential is deteriorating due to several challenges the lake is facing. Concerning this, we have the view of the public. Stay tuned.
It has been 30 years since I started selling fish. When I started this job, there was more than enough fish product. But now it has decreased and become expensive.
Now we are receiving small fishes and the amount is also decreases through time. Because of this, the price of fish will increase. The price has increased double compared to the previous years.
The fish product of Lake Tana has decreased. In the past years, 1 fish becomes 1.5 kilo, but now 2 fishes becomes 1 kilo. It is very small.
The best alternative to maintain fish product is to introduce fish farming. I have a brief stay with an expert to discuss with me fish farming and its investment potential in Amhara region and particularly in Lake Tana catchment areas and Abai River Basin, which are both in the closer area of Bahar Dar, the capital of Amhara region. Stay with us. Mr. Darajit Tawab, Director of Bahar Dar Fishery and other Aquatic Life Research Center as well as researcher. Thank you for joining us in our studio. Just my interview with you today is on fish farming, investment opportunities and the challenges. So just to begin my question, what are the main features of fish farming?
Fish farming means in other words, it is any sort of intervention to cultivate and to process fish in a confined environment, which means in a controlled manner. So I think literally fish farming or aquaculture is raising of fish in a controlled manner.
Let's come to commercial fish farming. How do you see the trend here in Ethiopia?
Let alone the commercial fish farming, the subsistence level of fish farming in Ethiopia is at an infant stage because everybody knows that even the capture fishery, which means the fish from natural water bodies, which I mean, was getting a focus and getting utilized in a very short period of time. With following this population growth and the demand for the good quality food item, this capture fishery, the fish catch from the natural water body starts to decline due to different interventions. Yeah, most likely the anthropogenic impact of the inhabitants and the development.
So
agenda.
as you said, because fish potential which is naturally existed in the lake or rivers are deteriorating because of many reasons.
Yes.
My question is, what is the potential of commercializing fish farming here in Bahar Dar and its vicinity or in Lake Tana catchment areas?
I think regarding to our region, the region encompasses with three main drainage basins like the Tekkaze Basin, the Abai Basin and the Baro Basins. Within these three major drainage basins, there are many primary, secondary and tertiary tributaries. So the demanded water resource to undertake aquaculture activities is very paramount. But as its potential, we didn't yet utilized in its potential scale.
Is there any trial here in Bahar Dar and its vicinity in commercializing fish farming?
Yes. As I have said before, the lake fishery, the lake capture fishery in Lake Tana, for instance, is depleted year after year.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the demand for fish, the consumers, is increasing year after year. Okay?
Yeah.
So it couldn't become in equilibrium. So there was one project which is from Netherlands, which is established near Bahar Dar town around Koga Reservoir, which is an irrigation dam. And we also participate in the feasibility study at its inception period. And we highly eager to see their activities here in Ethiopia. So we can copy, we can demonstrate our service, the researchers itself, because they are trying to overcome all the challenges and to produce fish in an confined environment in the reservoir with using the cage systems.
Okay.
That is one type of one strategy in aquaculture. There are many strategies.
This is the only company which engages in this?
Yes, of course. But we were also trying to bring the peoples from abroad. We tried many times to attract the investors and to invest their money in this sector because they know and we know the Ethiopian water quality and water potential for aquaculture is very paramount.
So what is the location advantage of Bahar Dar, particularly Bahar Dar and its vicinity for commercial fish farming?
Of course, this if somebody starts commercial fish farming or aquaculture in the vicinity of Bahar Dar, the commercial business always, be it fish or other commodity, it needs accessibility, road accessibility, and this the national or international airport system, if they want to export their products. So and also depending on the species, the type, it requires some range of temperature. Yeah. So in this case, with our catchment area, particularly the Lake Tana fisheries catchment area, the indigenous fish species, very good candidate for aquaculture purpose is here in our lake. Okay. So they can use this fish species in this sector. I think it is very profitable these days, because before 10-15 years, the demand for fish, the price for fish was very, very small. It was discouraging even the fishermen, the price. But now it is very attractive.
Mr. Daraje, you lead fishery and other aquatic animals research center. So as a government stakeholder, what is your support for those who are engaged or for those who are looking to engage in commercial fish farming?
Yeah, I think not only for the commercial fish farming, for the subsistence level of our community in different areas, because there are a very good opportunity these days. In many areas of this region, there are large, medium, and small-sized irrigation dams. So those areas are very important for culture-based fishery activities. Okay, so those areas, we are not addressing all of them, but in some of this dammed or this harvested dams, we studied the quality of the water first, and which type of fish species would be preferred to be grown in that vicinity or in that area. And those investors, from local investors, I mean, from somewhere, they go there, they went there, and they started to assist them with the inputs, the fishing gears, and the refrigerators to tackle the problem of post-harvest loss. So now, not only that area, here very close to Lake Tana, the Rib Dam, 1,000 hectares, now we have the water bodies.
Mr. Daraje, is there any other kind of investment sector which can be operated in parallel with commercial fish farming because of complementary business activities sideline with fish farming?
I think if we invest and if we cultivate fish artificially, its advantages not only to have or to produce fish, but also the water by itself is very useful for the primary objective, which means for irrigation. Okay, it gets with the quality organic fertilizer. Okay. Any materials which is drained from that water body. So it's I think very important to integrate with poultry, with vegetable cultivations, and even in the crop systems. Okay, if it is irrigated, I think it is very, we are not showing this advantage for our community. It has a very big advantage.
Let's talk to the marketability of fish product. So here in Bahar Dar's vicinity, when you see the culture of customers fasting menses like milk.
That is very imminent. It's not pronounced. Yeah, processing and storing. We need only refrigerators. Okay, if you have catch of fish before, if we cannot get market for our product, we can preserve in the refrigerator, deep refrigerator. Okay, so we will put there, and we have to clean our processing centers. We have to make it very hygienic. So we can put in the refrigerator with required degree Celsius, so we can stay when the market is coming. The market these days is not a problem for fish. The very good opportunity to start aquaculture is market and demand, because the knowledge to select the very quality food by our citizens is growing. Yeah. Very rapidly.
So in general, how do you explain the return on investment of commercial fish farming, maybe here in Bahir Dar and its vicinity particularly?
I think it's very profitable. As far as we fulfill those issues which I mentioned earlier, the feed, quality feed, and also the management practice, the knowledge is very important. Otherwise, worldwide, from other agricultural system, fish culturing or fish farming is highly profitable. And we have a number of water bodies and different agroecological areas, okay, which would be very important for, which would be conducive for the particular fish species. So I think the people as well as the investors anywhere, if they invest in this sector, they will be very profitable, and they can also help the community, the citizens, with quality food item.
Mr. Dereje, thank you for talking and thank you for your time indeed.
Thank you
very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next segment of our program item is This Week in the Press. We have top stories we got from the print media. Stay tuned. The Reporter newspaper in its latest edition analyzed the recommendation of IMF given to National Bank of Ethiopia. Accordingly, IMF advised the National Bank of Ethiopia to halt financing the government and the Development Bank of Ethiopia. The Executive Board of Directors of IMF suggested a number of measures to be considered by the government of Ethiopia. As to the report, financing state-owned enterprises and the Development Bank will bring unprecedented economic slowdown in the country. IMF suggests the government to adopt flexible and market-driven interest rate. Based on the recommendation of the IMF directors, Ethiopian authorities need to consider an immediate valuation. Commending the government of Ethiopia for its homegrown economic reform program, the fund was not shy of expressing its concerns. IMF indicates that double-digit growth will no more be realized in the coming 5 years. Those ambitious economic program which will be implemented in the country. This year's growth is expected to be around 6.2%. While next year anticipated to be 6.1%, the growth projects to reach 7 to 8% in between 2020 and 2024. As to IMF, reducing public expenditure and tight monetary policy will contribute significant change to boost Ethiopia's economic growth. Capital, the newspaper that promotes free enterprise in its front-page news, says Ethiopia's half-year expo performance shows slight increment. As to Capital, in the first half of the budget year, Ethiopia earned $1.33 billion, achieving 80% of the target in the stated period. However, the achievement has shown 10% increment compared with the same period of last budget year. According to the report from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, few sectors achieved more than the target set at the beginning of the budget year. Major export items did not achieve the target. The biggest achievement secured from the flour sector. The 6-month report indicates that the ministry planned to get $123 million from the flour export, but the actual performance is $225.3 million, which is an increment of $102 million. Netherlands, North America, and China are the major flour export destination countries. The other sector, including the horticulture investment sector of fruit and vegetable, achieved a 122% target. Coffee, cat, leather, and the pulp sector are also among the export items who showed high performance. According to Wendy Muflati, public relations head in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, alleviation of contraband contributed for higher performance, whereas illegal acts like under-invoicing and hoarding remains the challenge. The Ethiopian Herald Sunday edition reported that the second International Coffee Conference, which will be held from February 9 to 11 at the Millennium Hall in Addis Ababa, will spotlight Ethiopian coffee. According to the Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority, brand logo is also prepared to promote Ethiopian coffee. It is also mentioned that celebrating Coffee Day in Ethiopia creates a global opportunity to showcase the coffee products. According to the schedule of the International Coffee Conference, about 15 selected papers will be presented by various local and foreign scholars to help the sector that has immense economic contribution in the country. Exhibitions, festivals, and barista competitions will be also held in the conference. Various stakeholders are working in partnership with Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority to make the conference successful. Ethiopian Coffee Exporters Authority, Ethiopian Coffee Development Association, Ethiopian Coffee Roasters Association, Ethiopian Airlines, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry of Trade and Industry are among others. In the event, Ethiopia will create an opportunity to directly connect manufacturers stakeholders. The socializing event of Ethiopian coffee ceremony will also be displayed to the rest of the world. The trend will contribute to the tourism industry. Ultimately, the conference will create business partnership with private companies and the government by introducing the country's wide spectrum of coffee having peculiar flavors. Fortune newspaper in its latest edition reported that Ethiopia resumes negotiation with World Trade Organization. The negotiation resumes after 8 years since the talk halted. Ethiopian negotiators led by Mamu Mehretu, senior economic advisor at the office of the Prime Minister, have made a negotiation in Geneva, Switzerland. During the meeting, Ethiopia provided a revised goods offer which envisaged all tariff lines. The negotiators offered to cut tariffs by 90%. Mamu confirmed to Fortune that the team has begun bilateral talks